how to write a painting proposal. Hi, my name is signup. I'm a licensed painter, color consultant, owner of Expressions Painting, and founder of Expressions Painting University. This proposal is so important, yet we find that step missed or forgotten or just ignored altogether by so many painter-client transactions, right? This is where everything needs to be put on paper, especially in circumstances where you were given a fixed price, you were giving a fixed price to the client for a set amount of work, right? This is something that I hear often from painters, is that they'll say that they put a price together, but then they're forced to do all sorts of extras. Well, the reason is not always because someone is trying to take advantage of your generosity or anything like that. Oftentimes, it's just because there was a misunderstanding, or maybe someone just forgot the details. But this is where this leaves no doubt everything is clear. And so I want to kind of show you, like, just so you know, this is actually my information, so I'm not afraid of disclosing anything here or any customer's information. But I do want to go through the parts to show you how I actually put a proposal together so that you can understand the logic. But basically, of course, at the top, that's going to be your company information, right? That should be simple enough. But where I start is I list the rooms. Now, I want to specify this is in a situation where everything is going to be about the same in each room. Meaning, if you're painting ceilings and walls throughout the whole house, every room is going to be ceilings and walls, right? More often than not, this is going to be the situation where the same items repeat. But just keep that in mind, that this is for this scenario, and I'll talk to you briefly about a different option. So what I do is I list the rooms in the section that I call rooms to be painted, and then I have an includes and excludes section. So this is where I list, okay, it includes the walls, the ceilings, the doors, the metal doors, or anything that is included, I list in the included box, right? There's no risk of being unclear with this. It says that it's included. So if, let's say, you're painting a house and it's just the walls that are included, well, you list all the rooms and then you list the items, walls, right? Now, just to take that even further to make sure that there's no disconnection or discrepancy in terms of expectations, there is an excludes section. And one of the common things that we'll put there is inside closets, right? Because a lot of times we'll paint the walls inside the rooms, but not necessarily the walls inside the closet. So this is where you even go specific, make sure there's no room for error, everybody understands what's to be done. Then we have a section, customer to. So this lists what the clients need to do before we arrive. Things like moving furniture, removing decorations, switch plates, or anything that was discussed, this is where you put that. So by having that on the job, the proposal from the start, it removes a lot of scenarios where you get to the job and then the furniture is all still, nothing is ready, right? So this was clear. It was discussed and agreed upon that this was to be done. Then preparation, any kind of repairs that needs to be done, this is where you list that. And then the finish coats, all the products that will be used for different surfaces. And then at the bottom, we specify all labor, paint materials, and then the price. Then you add on the taxes. You put your tax number, business number, whatever is relevant there. And then you put the total including the tax. And then we have the payment terms. Our payment terms is that money is due in full upon completion. So we do not ask for deposit. But if you would need to, this is where you would specify X amount or percentage is due before and then after. And then you have a place to sign. And what we keep as well at the top here is a small section. We put optional prices or special notes or something that if let's say the job was for walls only, but then the client wanted an option for the ceilings, we might put the ceiling as an optional price. We put that there. Or if there's any special notes that need to be put, meaning like we'll need to start with the basement or anything like that, we would usually put that in this kind of bonus area at the top here. So now this is 95% of the jobs, this is the quote we'll use. But if, let's say, you're on a job where One room is ceilings, walls, and trims, and then the other one is just touching up the trims, and then in a different room is just a ceiling, where it kind of gets complicated in that sense. What I would do is that we actually have a different form where it just basically is an open box. We call it the open form. And so in there, you would just basically list, in the living room, we are painting walls, ceilings, and trim. In the dining room, we are just touching up the trims or anything of that nature, right? And another thing too that I really find is important to include there is the number of coats that are included, if it's 2 coats, 1 coat, or whatever, and then the number of colors, because you know it, I'm sure most people would know that if you have 1 bedroom as an example that's just 1 color, well, 1 gallon of paint will do that. Well, what happens if it's 2 colors, right? That takes 2 gallons, so it increases the cost. So normally in the industry, there's a beginning point of 3 colors, and then anything over that, we just charge a certain fee extra. So if that's the case, if you do have limits on the number of color and you want to put a fee for the additional colors, this is where you would put that as well. I personally put that in the finish coats. I have the area to be painted, the paint, number of colors, the number of coats, number of colors, and then a special note where I indicate how much it is for additional colors, right? Because a lot of times we're giving a quote to a client before they get their actual colors. So it's hard to know specifically how many coats will be required, how many colors there are. If you already have that information, then I would definitely recommend that you simply put the quote to factor that number of colors. But if you don't, then that's a great way of doing it. Did you get value in this video? I'm hoping that you did. If you're at a point where this is the next step that's challenging you, that's preventing you from moving forward and growing that big business of yours, or just having it be more sustainable, or perhaps increase the number of jobs that you land, this is precisely what we teach in the Contractor Training Program at Expressions Painting University. So be sure to visit that. There'll be a link in this description where you can check it out and see what is entailed in your role as a contractor if that is what you are doing. And I'm here to tell you, if you are giving estimates, even if you're just a self-employed painter, then you are the contractor. You're the person responsible for the project. So it's important that you know what skills you need to have to do that job, right? Because it's not painting. That's a different job. But when you're managing a job, you're the contractor. So managing, estimating, selling, the production, and then marketing your services, that's what we teach inside that contractor training program. So if you are interested, be sure to check that out. Otherwise, I will see you again next week.